Hi folks, Nathan Robb here with Two Guys in a Ride. Welcome to a CarTech how-to video on the 2023 Nissan Leaf SV Plus. Today I'll be covering the driver's information and infotainment screens. I'll do a general overview, show you how to access information, and do a deep dive. Let's get started.
Today we're working with our friends at Mankato Nissan in Mankato, Minnesota.
Okay, so the driver's information screen is divided between digital and analog. Of course, you've got an analog speedometer on the right, and then you've got a digital driver's information area on the left. Now, to control that information, you're going to use the four cursor arrows, the OK and the back button that are located on the left side of the steering wheel. So, when I use the left or right arrows, you're going to notice a familiar group of icons at the top of the screen. These are very common for Nissan, so you kind of, if you drive a Nissan already, you'll recognize these. Okay, so in any screen I go to, you'll notice that there's some dots on the left side of the screen. That means you can use the up and down arrows to go through more items. Okay, so let's start, and right now we are, of course, on the first icon. So this is your power gauge. Now, when you're driving, what you're going to see is if you're driving economically, the gray area will show up in white, and it'll be on top of the blue. If you're driving not economically, of course, it'll go out of that section and shows how much power you're using. The blue is the regen area, and as soon as you let off the accelerator or put the brakes on, you'll notice that the blue area starts to light up. And the more you're regenerating, the more blue shows up. And then in the middle, of course, it shows your range. Now, I'm going to go down one. You got charge time. And if you want to click the OK button here, you can go in the menu and you can select, this is you have you want to do a 6.6 kilowatt, you want to do a 3.6, 1.4, so on. You can go down and select these different ones and just press OK to change it. Oh, let's go back here to where I was. There we go. I'm going to go down one. Here you got battery temperature, which is very nice to have. And we'll go down one more, and battery capacity. I am going to go one more to the right. All right, and when we're at media. Now, to get to the sources, you're going to press OK. And then you can scroll through your various sources. When you find what you want, click on OK. And then you can use these right and left arrows to go to the next preset. You can use these for volume. All right, I'm going to go to the right one. All right, so in the navigation screen, this is all you get. You actually do not get turn-by-turn directions in your screen. You just get the car with the compass, even though the route is running. I'm going to go over more and more to the right. Okay, economy. All right, so you get your average miles per kilowatt hour. And you can press OK to reset. Go down here, you get your average, your energy econ history. Okay. So I'm going to go one more to the right. Under the information screen, we have a couple of windows here. So you got tire pressure. Now I can press OK here, and I got to click OK again. And now I can do these four different ones. You just click on OK to set it. I'm going to use the back button for once. There we go. I'm going to hit the back button again. And there we are back to our tire pressures. And if I go down one more, it just brings me to the top, which is your dynamic radar cruise control. And then if I go down one more, here I've got my ProPilot Assist stuff. So I've got the forward sensors, you've got the lane keeping, you got the blind spot. If you want to adjust those, you can press OK again. Okay, then under lane, I'm going to click OK. And I can say I want lane departure warning, which I can just click on, and lane departure prevention. I could turn one off and have the other on, although that doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm going to hit the back button in a minute. Let's go take a look at blind spot. What can we adjust here? You can have the warning on or off, blind spot intervention on or off, and side indicator brightness. Now I got to click OK on this one, and I can set it from standard to bright to dark. All right, and that's the side indicators on the car. All right, so let's go to the back button here. back button again. Look at emergency brake settings, front and rear, or you can have just front or just rear. All right, let's go back. Let's go back again. All right, we have another screen underneath this, so let's go down here. All right, so you get this screen. You get a couple of things. You get the compass, you get your digital speed, and you get your media all in one screen. And then I'll go down again, and we're back to tire pressure. Let's go over to the right. All right, so here we are. Let's go under driver assistance. You can have steering assist on or off just by clicking. We've already looked at lane, we looked at blind spot, we looked at emergency brake just a minute ago. Parking aids. Click here. You can have, on the sonar, you can say, I want parking sonar on, I want it to display on the backup camera, and then I want to set the volume. If I click OK here, I want a high, medium, or low, and just click on the OK button. I'm going to click the back button here in a minute. And how far do you want the range to reach? So you press OK again, and you can have those parking sensors, read out as far as they possibly can or as close as they possibly can without warning you. So you can set that to your comfort level. Hit the back button. Hit the back button again. Okay, you can have detecting a moving object behind you, on or off, and cross traffic on or off. And both those I would definitely suggest leaving those on. All right, driver attention alert. It's just going to warn you if the car senses you're sleepy and tell you to pull over. You can turn that off right there. You have a timer alert, so you can just set it for anything. Whatever you need. You need to call someone in a few minutes, you can do that. All right, I'm going to hit back. Low temperature alert. You can have that on or off. Chassis control. Let's click on that. You can have active trace control on or off. Let's go back. E-pedal. Now E-pedal, let's click on here. Retain mode can be on or off. What does that E-pedal do? Well, basically, if you have the E-pedal on, when you de-accelerate, it's going to act more like a brake. So the idea is you can drive an electric car with very little wear and tear on your brakes if you use that E-pedal. So that's there. Let's go back. Let's go back. Customize this display. So let's look here. Main menu selection. So these are all the little windows that we've gone through. Okay, so we can turn some of those on or off. All right, so anything that's got an orange dot is already on. Or we can do a trip computer. We can turn that on. We can do chassis control. Now you notice that all the buttons on the left side of the screen are turned white. And I got to press OK to change the selection. Oh, they're white. All right, I'm going to hit the back button. So that was the main menu selections. Okay, so now under I should have some different items. There's the drive computer we added. And there's the chassis control. Then again, you can click on menu and just same way to turn active trace control on or off. All right, so those are the ones that we added, and those were added under the I icon at the top here, right here. All right, then we're going to go back over here to settings where we were. EV settings. All right, so a lot of things under here. Charge timer. You can set one here, and you can go ahead and program it. You got a second charge timer you can do, program, and then charge time screen. Okay, we've seen this screen before. Climate control, timer 1 and timer 2 are going to be the same thing, just two different settings that you can program in. So you can turn this as to when it turns on. Okay, and you can even program what the climate temperature is. So like if I turn this on, and I can go down here and I click on OK again, and I can say, well, I want my temperature to be, 69. It's a warmer day. I want my, climate control on. Click OK to set it. And now at 12 a.m., it's going to come on and turn the climate on for me. So you program it so you shortly before you go to work, it comes on. Okay, I'm going to go back and turn that feature off. Okay, hit the back button. There's a second timer you can do that for, and then we're back to the top. So some nice settings. Tire pressure monitoring settings here. You can change the unit, and we've seen this before, but you can change it to these 4. This is just another area to do it. I'm going to hit the back button again. And maintenance reminders. Tires. So if I click on here, I can set how many miles I want before I say rotate tires. And then you can go down here to reset. Now, to set the miles, you just go up here, click OK. And now you can use the arrows. There we go. To set the miles. Hit the back button. Hit the back button again. And then this one you can set for anything else you want to do. Maybe battery maintenance check or something. So those that one can be done for anything that you want. All right, let's go back. Here's where you can set the clock. All right. Go back again. This is where you can change the units and the language. So miles, mileage and energy. You can have it miles per kilowatt hour. You can have it as kilometers per kilowatt hour. Okay, so you have lots of choices, and you just click here to activate it. Hit the back button. Tire pressures we've already seen. Temperature we haven't seen, so we'll click here, but you get Celsius and Fahrenheit just by clicking OK. And then down here, finally, the language. Click on there, and you can change between English, French, and Spanish. Hit the back button. Hit the back button again. And then if something goes, wonky with the car, it is not working, and you can't figure out how to do it, you can do a factory reset right there. All right, I'm going to click the right arrow, and we are back to the beginning. So that is it for the driver's information screen. Next, we're going to move over to the infotainment screen. Moving over to the infotainment screen, we have an 8-inch screen itself, and then we have a larger area with some physical buttons, which is nice to see. You've got a menu button, a map button, you've got a day-night button that allows you to adjust the brightness. You can go straight to audio right here. Okay, and of course you got a camera button, and then you got seek forward, seek backwards, and then a back button, a tune and scroll, which is useful for tuning in radios, but you can also use it to go around apps. And then, of course, you got a physical volume. So lots and lots of physical buttons, which we don't normally see. Since so many of those buttons have gone to a soft touch that are built into the screen. So right now we're at the home screen. So down here we've got a bunch of icons. And then up here, of course, we've got some different things. You got 3 dots. So for instance, this is one I set up just a minute ago. I'm going to go over here. This is the another screen that's set up a different way. So you got kind of 4 different quadrants here, and then you've got the 5th one. If I go over one more, there is one more example set up, and then this is just another one. So you can get the idea. This is the same as this one. It's just people have chosen to put different things in. So how do you do that? Okay, so if I push and hold the menu button, I can decide the shape. Okay, here's what I have. So if I decide I want to replace that one, I can. If I want the audio app to be here, I can do that. So it changes that. If I want map to be here, I can replace that. Okay. So that's, and then if I go down here, like I want map to be down here where phone is. Okay, it's map obviously needs a bigger area, so it takes up 2 of these. So it moves that over, and then it kind of squishes them in here. So turn by turn, I could have that as half a screen, but I couldn't have it as a small icon. So some things are smaller, like audio. Oh, no, even audio is big. Let's see if we can find a smaller one. 5-day forecast, is that going to be? Nope, that's going to be a big one too. This looks like a smaller one. Let's try this one. Here we go. So now I've replaced the bottom. Okay, so you can scroll through here and see all the different things that you want, and then you can put them in. Now, the small boxes, you're going to get these over here in the shortcut area. So if I want Bluetooth audio here, I can do that. I want USB 2 over here, and so on. That's how you're going to customize it. So what I'm going to do is actually going to drag them down to this screen that I just made a minute ago, and I'm going to put in, no, let's see, I don't want to replace that one. I want to put in Sirius XM right there. Okay, so now I'm going to just do back, and if I go backwards here, here it is. Here's the screen I just created. So I put in navigation here, Sirius XM, and then I'll go home, and then I still have my my media right here that's showing what's currently playing. I just have a shortcut to Sirius XM. Okay, that's how you adjust the screen and customize it. All right, so let's go and let's take a look at these different things. The first thing I want to do is just go into audio here and show you FM, AM, and Sirius XM, how to tune, how to set a preset, and then how to adjust sound. So they're all going to look exactly the same, and they're all going to operate the same. So for instance, in FM, if I went to a station that I did not have, I can tune this. So 89.3 is not currently in here, and all I have to do is press and hold, and there it is. Now I can go through here and see, you know, was there one over here that I didn't have something programmed in already? You can check that, but you can just overwrite. I don't know anyone that's got 12 presets where they're all different. We all use about 5 or 6. Okay, but that's how you save a favorite. Okay, so tuning again, you can go right here. You can also use these buttons, and you can go to the FN menu, and you can just look through here. Pick a station. You can scan if you want, and that way when you go like this, it should scan through. Oh yeah, it's a one-time push. So you go through here, and it'll scan to the next available station and stop. All right. So that's how you're going to tune. How do you adjust sound? Well, you're going to have to go into settings. Go to sound, and this is where you can adjust it. These are not slidable. You do have to use the minus or the plus buttons to do it, but you can adjust all of these things all on one screen. And then if I go down here, I get a bass enhancer and a speed sensitive volume that I can control. All right, I'm gonna hit the back button. Hit the back button again. If you want to see your sources, you can just go right here. So I'm going to quickly just click on AM to show you that it looks like FM and runs the same way. And then if I go to source again and I click on Sirius XM, it's the same thing. Okay? So you have a few different buttons like replay because they have some live stuff. You got some weather stuff. But that's because Sirius XM can come with several different things in the subscription depending on what you're paying. Now down here, you notice I got sources right down here as well. Now, if you want to customize the order of these particular sources, instead of having to go to source up here, you want to customize them down here. Okay, so if we went into settings and we go customize audio sources, see, here they are. So like, well, I'm going to put AM at the end. I'm going to put USB at the end as well. And I want Bluetooth first, I want Sirius XM second, and FM. Okay, so now I'm going to go back, and if I go back again, I think we're back into media. Here we go. Bluetooth audio, Sirius XM, FM, and USB 1. Not lit up because there's no USB in there. And then AM radio. That is how you customize that. Okay, moving on. Let's go to navigation. So this does have built-in navigation. It's just interesting that the turn-by-turn does not come into the driver's information screen. So how are we gonna plot a route? Well, you can go in here and click on destination and type one in, an address, or you can look for points of interest like coffee shops, ice cream stores, that kind of stuff. Or you can just use the voice command button on the steering wheel and tell it what you want. So here we go. That button is on the right side of the steering wheel, and we're going to try to program a route to McDonald's.
Please say or select a command.
Navigate to McDonald's.
Navigate to McDonald's. Please say or select a near current location. Please say 5. Calculate route or adjust location. Calculating route. The route calculation is complete. Proceed to the nearest road.
Okay, so few drawbacks on there, just because you got to click on so many things, and the whole idea of voice command is you can tell it something and it will just do it. But that is the easiest way. That is easier than tapping out the letters to an address, and it's faster. So that's how you're going to program a route, unless you really want to spend the time doing it. And then you should be parked so you're not driving distracted. Okay, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can look at the route, you can cancel right here, which is great. So we just hit cancel. Okay, and then I'll show you one other thing under settings here. If I go to navigation, this is where you make some one-time settings. You park the car in the driveway, turn around, and then you can make these things. For instance, under map settings, how do you want the map to look? Okay, what's on the left side if you split it? Map icons. What do you want? Do you want cafes and pubs? Well, click on it, and those will show up on your navigation anywhere you are, even if nothing's programmed into it. Okay, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go to guidance settings. If the volume's too loud with the navigation person speaking at you, you can lower that. You can also turn it off. You can turn traffic announcement on or off, toll booth guide on or off. Okay. Let's see. Route preferences. Okay. What kind of a route? When you program a route, what do you want the vehicle to do? Do you want to always find the fastest route, the most energy-saving route, or the shortest distance? And whatever you set, every time you program something in navigation, that's what the rule is going to follow. So that is how you're going to make one-time settings in navigation. Okay. All right. Let's go over to connections for a minute. You can look at Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. And this is where you would, for instance, want to look for your home Wi-Fi. If you were at home, want to connect to your home Wi-Fi, or you can look at what is on the USB. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new one. So I'm going to turn Bluetooth on. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my phone. I'm going to, of course, go up here. I'm going to go to Bluetooth. I'm going to scroll to the bottom of my list. It says My Leaf, so I'm going to click on that there. Is that pin number the same as on my screen? Yep. So on my screen, I click pair, and then then it's ready to go. It's on my phone. It says allow contacts and favorites to sync. Because it's not my car, I'm going to say no. But if this is your car, you'd want to say yes. All right. So it's finishing setting up. And then, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the menu. And now I'm going to go back to phone. Okay, so if I go dial number, now I can dial right from my phone. Okay, I can do other things like check the phone volume. I can set the ringtone, the outgoing call volume. Okay, but what I really want to do is I want to connect to Apple CarPlay. Now this does not have wireless Apple CarPlay. Or wireless Android Auto is all physical connection. So I'm going to take my USB cable. The car has a USB A and a USB C in the dashboard. So I'm going to connect my USB A. I'm going to connect it to my phone. Okay, then it's on my phone. It says allow CarPlay with Nissan Connect while the phone is locked. You want to click allow on that. All right, so now I just shut off my phone, and here it is. So basically, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto both take your any app from your phone, and it puts it up in the infotainment screen. So, for instance, this car has built-in navigation, but say you prefer using Google Maps. Well, you can do that right from here. Okay, and you have the nice full-screen display. You also have a split-screen view, where you can have navigation, media, and then some navigation commands. Android Auto has a very, very similar split screen view. It's just arranged a little differently than Apple CarPlay is. Okay, this is Apple CarPlay is also great for media in case you listen to things. TuneIn Radio, Sirius XM on your phone. Let's see, radio, Pandora, audio books, Apple Music. So it's all right there. You just click on it, and it's right there. Okay, these tend to be your most recently used things, and then again, you just click back to get to the screen with the icons, or you can swipe, and then if you want to get back to Nissan system, you just click there. All right, so that is Apple CarPlay. Now I want to show you what it looks like when we have an Android phone hooked, because you do it the same way. So, and there we go. So I should be able to shut my phone screen off. And here I go. So this is Android Auto split screen. So very similar. You got the navigation, you've got a home button, that's for navigation, and then you've got media. Okay, you've got shortcuts right down here. And if you click this little dice, then you go to the window with all of the apps, and the apps scroll up and down instead of left to right like they do in Apple CarPlay. But you can certainly do the same thing. So here we have YouTube Music, we've got Google Maps, and I haven't downloaded everything on here that I have on my iPhone, but you can certainly, you get a podcast here, so Waze navigation. So very, very nice, works very similar to Apple CarPlay. It just looks a little bit different, but that is how you'd hook up your Android phone to Android Auto. And then you just pull the USB and it goes away. Okay, and then you could go back to Bluetooth audio. But love using an Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. It's way better than Bluetooth. So if you haven't tried it, I'd really encourage you to sit in your driveway and try it out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go back to home here. All right, so the last one then is settings. Let's look at volumes and beeps. A lot of things beep and chime at you at the car, and this is where you can adjust those. And again, you can't slide anything. You have to use the arrows, or you have to use the plus and minus buttons to do that. But you can do a lot of adjustment for those kinds of things right there. Clock. This is where you go in and you adjust your clock. However, you should be able to just simply go and click on your clock, and it brings you to this page. So you don't need to dig through that whole menu. Okay, go back to settings here. Let's swipe over. All right, camera. So under display settings here, you can change the brightness, the contrast, tint, color, and black level. Now, for the most part, I always look at that stuff and say, you know, who would ever do that? But I'm going to tell you right now that there are plenty of people out there with vision issues that can drive, but, you know, they have a hard time seeing things in certain light. This is a lifesaver. You can go right in here, you can adjust that to the level that works best for your eyes, you know, which is a way better deal than, well, we can't use the backup camera anymore because I really can't see where the lines are. So adjustments right there. I always think that is a nice addition when they put that in. And then under others, and then if something goes, you know, haywire, well, you can return all settings to default. Okay, so I want to show you the backup camera. So I'm going to just put the car in reverse for a minute. And it actually has a fairly good backup camera system. But what I'm impressed with is not the overall image quality, because that leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's clear. I mean, you can see it. It's just not as high quality as what we're used to seeing. But this is your 360 right here. If you hear that little chiming sound, that's because the cars are in reverse and it's warning people. But I love this 360. This is really, really nice. And then, of course, you can see front and back. So if someone were to run behind you or there was an object, sensors would pick it up. And then here you just got straight back view. And you do have both static and dynamic swivel guidelines as you turn the wheel. That is it for the driver's information screen and the infotainment screen on the 2023 Nissan Leaf. And this is the SV Plus trim level. Hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.